don't think those are swans, Julia. See some of the airplanes?
There goes one now.
There's one behind us now.
The sun's right behind us, so you probably can't see us. But we've just left the mooring at Dogdyke.
Yep.
Quite a pleasant little stay.
Yeah. Dogdyke's a nice little spot. The pub's quite... Well, it wasn't open very late yesterday because it was Sunday, so I got to stop in and have
What did you have? Cider?
I'm trying to remember the name. It's a Kopperberg mixed fruit cider.
Was it with ice and nice and cold?
Yeah. And apparently one of our viewers was in there and I didn't know that didn't find that out until
messaged later to say they didn't want to disturb us, but which is sad.
There's no disturbing me. I was just sitting in there having a Kopperberg. Then I finished it, and then I started walking. And I walked into Koningsberg. No, Koningsberg. What? That's in Germany, I think, or Austria. Anyway, whatever. No,
Where
Denmark.
did you actually go?
Koningsly.
Koningsborough?
No, whatever it is. It's RAF Coningsby. That's it. RAF Coningsby. And Coningsby town is not a lot further along from RAF Coningsby itself. And then I got a view of the castle, which is quite impressive
on that. Where is the castle?
It's sort of over that way. It's quite impressive on the horizon, kind of popping up viewable, but it is not that accessible from where I was, because it's basically like you got to walk into Coningsby and then you've got to go back about 20 minutes walk to get to it. And there doesn't seem to be a direct route, because there is that big caravan park and marina and everything, and it sort of sits there in the middle and doesn't seem to have any obvious pathways. Now, there might be pathways that I just didn't find, because there is a pathway along the river, and there's a pathway, it appears some way down the River Bain, so you might be able to get there, but I couldn't find them. So what I ended up doing yesterday was walking along the road past RAF Coningsby, which was interesting enough because you walk literally right underneath the area where the RAF fighters are taking off. So I got overflown by a few.
Oh boy, have they been taking off today as well.
Yeah, it's the Eurofighter Typhoon, and several of them took off this morning, and I got shots of a pair of two, another pair of two, and then a single one going really vertical. So it's quite an impressive amount of noise, and it's quite interesting to be there. If the prevailing wind is sort of in the direction where you're walking along, then they'll be coming up this way. If it's in the other direction, then they'd be landing over top of you, and you'd be able to watch them come in for landing. So, yeah, you get to see that happening. I think I can see two Eurofighter Typhoons. I think that's what they are. They appear to be delta winged, and would usually be the Eurofighter. In this morning, after taking a walk into Coningsby yesterday and doing not much more than stopping by a Morrison's local that happened to be open, I went in again today, dropped off some post, got to the memorial flight in record time to be able to make it to the next tour that's at the 11 o'clock in the morning tour, and I was like, great, I'll be able to go. And then I got turned away because I had a backpack on. So. Just
passing Dogdyke pumping station from 1855. Yeah, so that was really disappointing. What's that smell? Oh, it's the farm.
Somebody's farming something. Yeah. Smells like burning barley, hops or something. I got no idea what that is, but that's a weird smell.
Oh, and we're just passing, I'll let you finish your story at some point, the 33 kilometre, I was going to say mile marker, but it's a kilometre marker. I think they're counting down to Lincoln.
Does that say 33 kilometers, or does it say 3,333 km?
Are you seeing double vision?
No.
Oh, I see, because there's two. But yeah. Another one.
Yeah. I think that's the same one.
It's going round in circles.
Yeah. Tens of thousands of pounds an hour to run those things. And they are very outdated.
There's two orange swans and a green swan ahead.
I don't think those are swans, Julia. Looks like we got swimmers in the water.
Yeah. So it's disappointing about the museum.
Well, I would have liked to have visited the flight because the Lancaster's there, and it's the flyable Lancaster. So it's the one that actually flew over to the D-Day celebrations this year. And I've seen it in flight, and I've seen the Spitfires in flight. And so I was kind of interested to take the tour because it is like a hangar tour. And in theory, you might be able to learn a bit about what goes into maintaining a World War II era bomber in flight-worthy condition today. And what's it like to fly one and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of it apparently is the Typhoon themselves. And there's a lot of people, like there's a whole bunch of, there's two parking lots just full of cars of people just watching and photographing the Typhoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I get it. I mean, you know, they are interesting.
Bye.
There.
You really do.
All the way to Boston? You going all the way to Boston?
Oh, good call. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Thanks, you too.
But yeah, there's a large number of people and these cattle watching the aircraft take off and land and take off and land, and I get it because they are still impressive machines.
Yeah. So we're just coming up to another mooring. So I think that's Tattershall Bridge.
That makes sense because Tattershall Castle's over there.
If you've watched our videos for a while, you may remember that I'm quite fickle when it comes to choosing my favourite waterway, and currently my favourite is the River Witham. It's been just stunning in the July sunshine. The brick bridge is the old Sleaford Road bridge. The second bridge is the new bridge, and it takes traffic east to Tattershall Village and Tattershall Castle. It's about a 1.5 mile walk from the moorings if you want to visit. To the east is the Horncastle Canal Junction. The canal led 11 miles to Horncastle. It was opened in 1802, but once the railway was built and a branch line added, it went into decline. It barely lasted 90 years.
It's a beautiful day for a cruise, and the River Witham is looking,
Withamable.
I think it's looking stunning.
It's a nice river. 31 kilometers to go.
What did you learn in the book?
Well, if that's the mile marker, then that's where 32 kilometers will be.
Fascinating stuff.
Except I don't think this is the mile marker. I think it might be the kilometer marker. We'll find out. Stay tuned.
There's a number of gates where dikes drain into the canal. I think this one is Timberland Road. Ahead is the Kirkstead Bridge moorings at Woodhall Spa junction.
Just having a little panic that there wasn't room for us, but there is. So we've had a slight change of plan. Michael's not abandoning me. We've only got a duck hatch on one side, and because we're going to be here for 2 nights, I said I'd rather have the duck hatch on the riverside, and so did Michael. So the only thing we need to worry about is George getting off the wrong side at the front, but hopefully he won't. Good morning.
Morning.
We are in Woodhall Spa.
Kirkstead Bridge visitor moorings, about a mile walk outside of Woodhall Spa.
We've had 2 nights here.
Yeah, we had your birthday here. We had some grapefruit here. First grapefruit for either of us in years.
Pink grapefruit is very nice.
Yeah, 3 for a pound at the fruit and veg shop.
I love that that's the highlight. It really isn't the highlight.
Well, it's not the highlight. I don't know. I'm not sure what the highlight would be.
Probably the bakery, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a really good bakery.
I think it's just called Bakery and Delicatessen. I don't know what else it's called.
It's the Bakery and Delicatessen.
It's
which
so
makes sense
good.
that there's the in it, because it really is. They've got like just chocolates. You can buy them by the individual piece. There's a deli with a bunch of like hot meat pies and things.
Yeah, and quiches and stuff. But the cakes, oh my god, the cakes.
The cakes are really good. But it opens at 8:30 a.m. So there's this part of me that's just like, I want to go in and get some. That's the reason why we should move on.
Yeah, so it's 7 a.m. We're not sure if we're going to Bardeney today or Lincoln. We'll probably decide on the day. I think Bardeney's about 2 hours, Lincoln's about 5 hours.
The problem is that yesterday was sort of the hottest day of the year hottest day of the year so far. And there is a yellow warning in place for thunderstorms starting
Midnight tonight.
1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, all the way through midnight tomorrow.
I think ideally we'd go to Bardney today and Lincoln tomorrow, but if there's thunder all day tomorrow, we don't really want a 3-hour journey tomorrow. So yeah.
George wants this ball thrown. One second. George has a ball thrown.
We're trying to empty George, but he's not emptying himself.
See, the problem is that right now he's found that there's this ramp, and if he draws the ball on the ramp, the ball rolls back to him, and then he can annoy us just enough.
One thing about this mooring is when we got here 2 days ago, there was absolutely it was a very tiny amount of Wi-Fi, and we spent a long time trying to point our directional antenna towards the Wi-Fi, and we got some, but it was really slow. And then Joe had the genius idea, if I do say so myself, of
just kind of attaching it to the end of our mooring pole, and then you figured out how to... Barge pole, yeah, mooring. Joe figured out the idea that we could take the barge pole and cram it into the gas locker.
Because we used to have it on a scaffold pole when we were moored, but obviously scaffold pole's very heavy. And it wasn't ours, we borrowed it, so...
Yeah, and I should disconnect the directional antenna and put it onto the Omni, but the Omni wouldn't have worked here either, because the problem really is these great big banks are just packed earth, and they block the signal.
Signal can't get past them, but it worked, so now we have a workaround.
Yeah. Though it does look kind of funny.
It does look funny.
Big colorful barge pole.
Alright, you empty George.
I've been trying to empty George. I'm going to leave you with George emptying, and I'm going to go get the boat ready. Oh, it's drippy.
There's kilometre marker 22, so that means, I think if we go all the way to Lincoln today, or to the end of this navigation and onto the Dogdyke, we'll have done 22 kilometres, well over 22 kilometres. These are the Southray village moorings. The railway line used to come through here as well, and there's still evidence of the station platforms and signs. This is the Bardeney sugar beet works. You can see the factory for miles as you approach Bardeney.
So we think we're going to stop in Bardney at least for a little while, even if it's just to let George try and poo.
Yeah, people walk into town. I want to get to Lincoln because of the thunderstorm tomorrow. Kind of want to get to Lincoln rather than, rather than risk having to travel in bad weather.
Yeah.
Because there's a thunderstorm warning for tomorrow, and then there's bad weather 2 days later.
Yeah, so
And
we've got a small window of opportunity, assuming the weather doesn't change.
Yeah, and if the chicken gizzards turn out right, we'll be fine. But weather predictions here are often vastly off.
Have you seen our neighbours?
Which ones are we talking about?
This little one here.
Oh, gnomes. No, I hadn't seen gnomes. We have gnomes.
Gnome neighbours.
Gnome neighbors who are gnaughty. Turns out they're swingers.
Michael, you can't spread rumours like that.
Not the boat, the gnomes.
Yeah, I know, but you can't spread rumours about the gnomes.
They're ceramic. Look at them. Clearly swingers.
So it just
They go to Benidorm.
Wow. Michael discovered Benidorm for the first time. But not Benidorm, not Benidorm the place to visit, Benidorm the TV show about the place to visit.
Yes.
Can't wait to go, can
Super famous for everybody who's never been anywhere but England. Totally unknown outside of England. But Joe shows it to me and I'm just like, what the hell is this show and what is it referencing and how am I supposed to know this stuff about Benidorm?
You say that, but you did watch all of it. 10
Yeah,
seasons.
I watched all of it. It's addictive in a strange fashion. It's really weird when from Dallas shows up partway through.
Oh, Joan Collins.
Joan Collins shows up in it, and it's like, what is she doing in this show? And there's all these like celebrity cameos of celebrities nobody's ever heard of and nobody's ever known, and they're like, it's like, oh, there's some famous person who isn't famous, but is in Benidorm, sufficiently famous to be in Benidorm.
2 days ago we were on the boat, like moored up, and there was these two guys talking outside, and Michael was like, Joe,
Just pay attention to the accent. This guy sounds exactly like the character called the Oracle. And then the next day in the same town, or well, next mooring over, what do we see but a truck that's got his last name on it. It's like, oh my gosh, it's entirely possible that it's a documentary, that it's not, in fact, a comedy, and that we've been watching this the entire time thinking we were, yeah, anyway.
Anyway, we've got to Bardney. Bardney visitor moorings. There was a nice little space for us at the end. Yeah, so going to stay here probably till Friday, assuming the thunderstorms arrive tomorrow. If they don't arrive or there's a gap, we can go.
Yeah, there is Bardeney Lock.
Just up there.
Yeah, it's not far at all. It's got I remember it having a sort of wackadoodle turn where you've got to do like a sharp turn and then a sharp turn in.
Don't remember at all.
Yeah, but yeah, Bardeney's famous for a music festival that actually apparently isn't in Bardney. It's like near Bardney.
What's it called? Bardney Music Festival.
I think it's called the Bardney Music Festival, but it's actually south towards that train station we passed, where it's another one of the train stations where their traffic, like the lines were ripped up years and years and years ago, so there's really just an old station and a sign. So I'm going to walk into Bardney now.
See what's there.
Yeah, and I need carrots. I need to stop at the carrot.
I have got 2 bits of paste if you can wait, but if you don't want to wait, then they can go another day.
Well, I can wait a few minutes.
Okay. So this is the end of this video.
Okay. Oh, so I need to look up a saying goodbye. Nyobzu.
Yopsu.
Nyobzu.
Where's that?
Probably Wobzu. Wobzu makes more sense. Yeah.
Where is it?
It's Hmong. Hmong from northern Vietnam. Yeah, so that's going to be probably more like Wobzu. I've no idea. If you're Hmong, I'm sorry.